close. Warriors dynasty might be over. Next on FS1 Fox Sports.
Warriors done. Sacramento lit the beam as Nick predicted. Drubbed the Dubs by 24. Clay went 0 for 10. Wound up with 0 in what could be his last game as a Warrior as he enters free agency. More on that in a second. But right now, we'll start with Nick. Who's to blame for the Warriors' exit?
Oh, well, before we get to that, Rick, you know what we need to do. Dim the lights and light the damn beam. That's what we need to do.
I like the sound.
Might be for the last time this season. Who knows? Well, but they get to end the Warriors as we know them for all likelihood. And second of all, we'll get to who's at fault, but I'll tell you who's at fault for the Warriors fans' hope being up. Guys like Chris Broussard, who didn't follow his own advice from football season. Because while Title Pie left the Warriors at 0% every edition of it, Chris didn't follow one of his really trademark beliefs, which is don't trust teams that get fat and happy off tomato cans. The Jazz, the Wizards, the Hornets, the Nets. We're talking about the worst teams in the sport. There's more. The Pistons. And then last but not least, of course, the Blazers. The Golden State Warriors were 16-0 against these tomato cans. And 30 and 36 against the rest of basketball. So, Bruce to blame for how sad people are. The Kings deserve credit. But, of course, the real villain here, unfortunately, is the face of new media, Draymond Green. Who now has... In 2016, couldn't keep his hands to himself. I think the Cavs would have won anyway, but nobody else does. In 2019, he led to Kevin Durant definitively leaving. In 2023, before they even played one game with title defense, he punched a teammate who was supposed to be the heir apparent to Klay Thompson, and maybe they could have used him. And this year, he left Steph Curry sobbing on the court for his latest infraction, which put them in a position where they're the damn 10 seed. So, even though Clay had 0 points, and even though Warriors Twitter wants to blame Steve Kerr, I'm going to say Draymond Green is the #1 reason this Warriors team was in that position.
All right, first of all, let me address the elephant in the room. All of this whole A and B block thus far, you know what the moral of it is?
No.
Don't let Nick stay up all night. I mean, we got a beam, we got tomato cans. He's just, the idea is just run wild. Go to sleep. Danielle, take him to sleep.
I got an envelope idea.
Right.
I'm sorry, I put in work for today's show, guys.
I don't know if that was considered work.
All right. I think there are two questions within your question. Because there's who's to blame for them being the 10th seed.
Yes.
All right? And then there's who's to blame for last night.
That's fair.
Right? The 10th seed, you're right. You said it, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. Draymond, when they were in danger of missing the playoffs, we thought Houston might catch them. And you said Draymond's the reason because with Draymond, they played at a 49-win pace.
Yes.
Okay? They would not have been the 10th seed. So he has to take a huge part of that blame. 49 wins, you're the 7th seed. They tied Phoenix but didn't have the tiebreaker. But still, you got some room for error. I also have to throw in with Draymond, Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, sure.
Andrew Wiggins has gone from being an 18-point scorer, 39% three-point shooter with Golden State. All-star somehow, and pushed Steph for the Finals MVP.
Is Wiggins the rare classic 3 turn to the classic?
No, because he did get a ring. He did get a ring.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But I'm feeling about Wiggins. I'm as disgusted with him this season as you were a few years ago when they traded for him. I was right. I thought he'd play well there, help him win, and he did.
But now he went right back to it.
Yes, 12 points a game? On like 35% shooting from 3. If Andrew Wiggins, they wouldn't have won the championship without him. So his decline at 29, not 37. He looks 37, but that's huge. Last night, I can't let Clay off the hook.
Well, he had 0. I think it's a fair.
It's 0 points. Has he ever scored, Dusty? I need to look this up.
Under Steve Kerr, this was either the first or the second time he's ever had 0. Oh, no, it's the second time, but the other one he got ejected like 2 minutes in.
So for a full game.
This was the first time ever under Kerr.
This is probably the first time since he was like
Maybe ever.
A little kid, maybe 9 years old. And maybe
you know what?
then
I
he
bet
was
9
lighting
years
them
old
up.
Clay was
Right.
busting folks.
Right. He may have never scored 0.
Right.
And he played 32 minutes almost, 0 for 10. So give him a little help. Give Steph a little help last night, and maybe they win that game. But that's the one and done, as Nick said. I mean, anything can happen.
Let's talk about the Warriors' future now. The team has played 721 games together, won 4 championships, logged over 13,000 minutes. But could this be the end? Well, Steph can't see it. Take a listen.
I can never see myself, not with those two guys. I understand this league changes and there's so many things that go into it, and we're not going to play forever, but, we've experienced so much together, and at the end of the day, again, I know they want to win, I know I want to win, and that's all I worry. That's all I'm worried about.
Okay. Should this be the end?
Well, yes, and should it be? Probably not. It probably shouldn't be. You probably let them ride off in the sunset together because they all want to. You know what I mean? And you pay the tax bill and you deal with it. But it will be the end. Joe Lacob's not paying. Joe Lacob said we got to get under the tax. And Clay, I know Clay ended terribly, but Orlando will offer him money. Dallas might offer him money. Philly, which could have 2 max spots available, and there's not 2 max players worth getting, could offer him money. He shot 42% from 3 this year. As you made the point, he had a nice bounce back. Yeah. And this is where it gets, to me, very tricky, Wilds, because Steph made it clear, I want everyone back.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr made it clear. He signed an extension. He wants everyone back. If the Warriors decide to fire the first shot, if you will, which is not matching whatever offer Klay Thompson gets, because they can match anything. I don't know. What's Steph Curry doing in July?
Oh, a little bit of Olympics flirtation.
A little bit of Olympics flirtation.
A lot of super teams built.
There's one other thing that I found really noteworthy, Brew. There's another move the Warriors can make this summer. Steph is eligible for a 1-year, $62 million extension for his age 39-year-old season. And I don't think that's something the Warriors necessarily want to sign up for, understandably. But if they don't bring back Clay and they don't make it right with Steph by giving him a $62 million year or $62 million contract for age 39, then I think all options are on the table. But yes, I think last night was the last night we see him together.
Wow. I don't think at this moment it's black and white. I don't think it's, look, we're definitely moving on. Or, no, we're definitely coming back. You got to see what options are out there. Now, Clay, I agree. Look, if Philly or Orlando or any other teams you may have mentioned want to give him a big salary, like he's making $43 million this year. I'm not trying to insult him and bring him back at the veterans minimum, $3.2 million. He turned down
2 for 48 this summer.
Yeah, and I'm not going that high. Like, I'm trying to get.
You're not doing 2 for 48?
Grayson Allen just got 4 for 70.
Well, first of all, they're trying to get under
that's my point.
Tax and all of that. All right, so I'm looking at for Clay for a real huge discount, like tens of millions.
Would that mean so you're like a 2-year, $20 million deal?
I mean, something like that. Now, and if he wants to leave, then so be it. Now, as far as Steph loved Mark Jackson, and so. Yeah. He was, Steph's going to be a good soldier. Could he ask out of Golden State in a year or two? Maybe. I don't see him doing that right away. Here's what I'm doing. First of all, I'm shopping Andrew Wiggins. Shopping him. Now, I don't know that I can trade
even combine
3 years,
salaries.
$85 million.
That's the, you know what I mean? Right now, they can't even attach a good asset to him because they can't combine salaries because they're a second apron team.
Right. I'm just hoping some team might. Now, again, maybe not. I'm discussing on the trade market Draymond with other teams. What could we get? Not that I'm definitely going to trade him, but what could we get for Draymond?
If everyone's gone.
Well, but I just think he's one of those guys that's at least for a year. Okay. All right? And I'm seeing what's out there for Draymond.
As soon as Clay and Draymond are gone, you are very close to Steph being like, what am I doing here?
If Milwaukee, if it ends ugly there this year, place a call to Giannis.
But how? But what do you?
I'm just saying.
Brew, you have an amazing sports car. I have this bag of tomato cans. You know what I mean? Can I place a call for it?
Look, if Giannis wants out of Milwaukee, and that's a big if. I'm not saying he does. then you're starting over. You're probably going to try to trade Dame at that point, and then maybe Kuminga looks like he could be something. The young players,
the Warriors are not going to have the best offer for Giannis.
They won't. But did the Lakers have the best offer for AD? Like, players
AD had
have
1 year left on his deal.
Players, Harden has forced his way to certain, like, players have been able to force their way to where they want to go, even with a year or two left on their deals now.
Doesn't Giannis have
kind of a different
4 years?
He's got a ton left.
Yeah, I don't think it's kicked in yet.
Bob Myers this fall, when asked about Klay's extension. Well, this is why I left, first of all.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with it.
I'm
Nick,
outta
go
here.